Hi, this is Harriet Grayson, your host and producer of Community Culture Showcase. Well, we've been waiting a long time, but spring is finally here. And because spring is here and we got some nice sun and we got some warm temperatures, we're going to have a lot of wonderful activities going on in the Groton community and all over Southeast Connecticut. It's the time of the year when we have art festivals and film festivals and all kinds of other literary events going on. So I am really pleased to have with me one of my guests is Mark Whalen, who's been the man to know if you're in Groton, for sure, for sure. And I've known Mark for quite a while, so welcome, Mark.
Well, thank you, Harriet. Thank you for having me today. Very excited to be visiting with you again.
Great, great. And as always, you're really involved. You got your hands in all kinds of little pockets. So tell us about your great venture coming up now.
Yeah, well, I live in the city of Groton. I love the city of Groton, and I try to support my community in as many different ways as I can. And one of the things that I've been doing, this is my fourth year, is producing the Art on Groton Bank. Mm-hmm. This will be the 11th year for Art on Groton Bank, and that's an outdoor art festival. Wonderful. That we hold on the grounds of the historic Bill Memorial Library in the area of Groton Bank, which is up near the Griswold Monument in Groton. And it's Saturday, June 9th. Right. And we pretty much just take over the beautiful grounds. Right. And we have art and artisans and crafters and jewelry. We have live music. We have food. We have lots of things we can talk about that day. It's a fun day. And this year, it's also going to be June 9th is Groton Bank Day. Mm-hmm. It's the first year for that event. And that's a whole nother huge event that we can talk about today. It's really going to be very exciting. Right. A lot of exciting things happening. Now,
people who are not, even people who might live in Groton, don't know the importance and the historical importance of Groton Bank. It's not a place where you go and bring your money in.
No, yeah, exactly. Right, exactly.
It has a geographical or topography kind of description.
Yeah, well, it's set high above, overlooking the Thames River. And of course, everyone can, even if you're in the New London side, if you look for that obelisk, which is the Griswold Monument, that is the anchor, if you will, and the battlefield, which was a revolutionary battle that took place in September 6th, 1792, right up there. So this area where Art on Groton Bank is very, very significant in our area. It has history of the Revolutionary War, the War of 1812, the beautiful captains' homes, the whaling captains, and those types of things. So it's a very rich and very diverse area.
And a lot of people just probably don't know about it. So this is an opportunity to learn about it because it's not only is it the site of personal homes, it also has lots and lots of historical museums and other kinds of places that are, for your event, going to be open to the public so they can have an opportunity. Everything is free?
Yes, that's this year. We've moved Art on Groton Bank. We're usually the second Saturday in July, and we've moved to June 9th. So we can all work together, all these historic sites and Art on Groton Bank can work together to really create an event for the entire community there. And in addition to, of course, the Fort Griswold has a beautiful museum with wonderful Revolutionary War relics and things from the battle. And we have things like the Avery Cop House Museum, which is a museum house, the Mother Bailey House. There's oh gosh, as you see on my list here, I'm sure not everybody can see all of that, but the Bill Memorial Library was built in 1890 by Frederick Bill. And that's of course, you know where the Groton Bank is. And that in itself is a destination because it's an incredibly beautiful building inside and out. And of course, that'll be open as well for the day. So there's a lot to do, a lot to do that day. It's going to be a very exciting day, and I'm certainly very excited about it this year.
Are each of the houses going to have someone who can give a kind of a little tour or something?
Yes. Okay. Oh, yes. They'll for instance, the Avery Cop House that was originally built in the 18th century and was kept in the very same family. As a matter of fact, the family still basically owns the house, but has
Okay.
given it off to a museum. And it's a time capsule inside because everything that the family had from 200 years ago up until when it was recently occupied is still there. And they have costumed guides there, and they give demonstrations throughout the day and on that day of things like cooking techniques from years past, and sewing or toys. They'll have the yard games to show how children played 200 or 100 years ago.
Right, right.
So yeah, each of these historic sites that I'm talking about will have a tour guide there representing a certain period of time that was significant to that particular building.
That is wonderful. Why don't you go through each one of those? I know you have a little list here so that people can have a real sense. Now, the best place to do to come is to go to the Bill Memorial Library and park there.
Yes, the Bill Memorial Library, we have ample parking. Parking is never ever an issue. It's so easy.
Right.
And of course, it's all free. It's right there. And all of these sites it's up a hill. So it's for anyone that might have difficulty walking. It perhaps wouldn't be quite as conducive. But they're all. If you've got some good sneakers on and a good pair of legs, they're all within an easy walk.
So say I'm driving, so I drive and I park in the parking lot behind the Bill Memorial Library. And now I want to take the full course of what you got to offer me. So take me through all of these museums, what's there, and give me a kind of little snapshot, remembering that everything is absolutely free.
That's correct. Well, the Bill Memorial Library, Art in Groton Bank. Think of the beautiful grounds with the shade and the trees, all the tents, all the artists, the music going on. So that festival will be happening. Right next door, closest, is the Groton Congregational Church, which also will be open. It's a very, very beautiful building. It has Tiffany stained glass windows that are very significant, obviously.
Right.
I don't remember when the building was built. I believe in the very early part of the 20th century, 1900, something like that. It's not the first church or building that was there, but it was reconstructed on or about 1900 or so. And that's right down the street.
Right.
And then there is the Avery Cop House, which I mentioned, which is down the street on Thames Street, across from the Puffin's restaurant there. And that is that beautiful museum house, as I just described.
Right.
And they'll have, of course, the house open, and they'll be having the grounds open, which are quite spectacular. The Ebenezer Avery House, that originally was it was moved after the, I don't know when, maybe in the 1920s or so, but that was very significant. The Battle of Groton Heights in September 6th, 1792. That building was where a lot of the wounded were taken after the battle.
Okay.
And that's a beautiful house, again, built in the early 1700s. And it's fully furnished to the period. And we also have the Mother Bailey House.
Okay.
That is located also down on Thames Street, just down the street from the Avery Cop House. Mother Bailey is very famous. She also took in a lot of wounded from the battle. And she was known, of course, remember, this is the 1700s with the long dresses and things. And they needed bandages, and she wasn't shy. She took off her petticoat right there in front of everybody, and she just ripped up her petticoat for bandages for everyone. So she was quite a character and a very important influence back in those days. And that house the city owns it right now, and it's they're doing restoration on it. It's in kind of rough shape. There's a lot of work that needs to be done on it, but that also will be open, and it's very significant. There is also the Thames River Heritage Park.
Okay.
Now there's a lot to talk about there because it's not one particular park. And this is in conjunction with the water taxi, which will be happening. Now, the water taxi runs between Fort Trumbull in New London to the train station in New London, and then across the river to Groton Bank. So it does that loop.
Okay.
And that'll be running all day long from 10 a.m. till 4 p.m. Actually, it'll be running, 10 a.m. till 10 p.m.
Wow. Okay.
And we have sponsors that have basically bought the water taxi that day. So the water taxi is going to be free.
Oh, wonderful.
You can take a
a
boat
ride.
ride. You can go over
Yes.
to London if you want to, visit New London, come back to Groton. And the Thames River Heritage Park is all the sites that are included in and around New London and Groton. That would be Fort Trumbull,
Yep.
which is significant for the War of 1812. The beautiful Richardson train station there in New London.
Yes.
There's other sites within walking distance of the water taxi in New London, which are very significant museums that'll be open. And then, of course, you go across the river and you have Groton Bank and Art in Groton Bank and all those museum houses that I've talked about.
Wow.
And so, again, we have a sponsor that's going to be sponsoring that water taxi all day long for free.
Great.
We also are going to have a shuttle service that'll be available at the water taxi landing in Groton, and that'll be running people up to Art and Groton Bank, and then that'll be running continuously all day from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Because it's a steep hill to come on up.
It's a steep hill to come on up. Again, if you've got some a good pair of legs and
nice
some
sneakers,
nice
right.
sneakers,
Yeah, it's not a
easy.
problem.
But for anyone who might not want to take that
Or
trek,
people with children or something.
children
yeah.
or mobility issues, we still want you to come visit us. So
Right.
we're going to have that shuttle service taking care of those people.
That's great.
Yeah,
That's great.
And again, that'll also be free. So
wow.
it's you have an opportunity to bring your family in. You can have your friends, call a friend in New York and say, get on the train.
That's right.
Come to New London, or
come to New London.
get on the
That's
ferry boat from Long Island and take the ferry in. So you've got the train, you've got the ferry,
Right.
and all that going into New London.
Right.
And we're just right across the river.
Yes, exactly right. Are you going to have like a little map or something so people could go
Yes.
from
Yes.
place to place and
Yes,
not
we
get
are.
lost?
Yeah, we'll make it very easy. We're also going to have which is called a passport program, where you'll be given a passport, a folder, and as you go to all these sites, you'll get your little passport stamped.
Yes.
And we're thinking about maybe having a raffle or a free
yes,
gift or
of
something
course,
like that
of
to go along
course.
with that. So we have an Art and Groton Bank committee, and then we have the Groton Bank Day committee, which
Right.
I'm on both of those, and we're both working together and working very hard to make this day fun. And then, of course, all the museum houses, and we're
Sure.
all working together.
Very collaborative,
Very, very much so.
which is
yes.
an important thing, sure, to get people involved. And again, it's absolutely free, so there's like, why not? Hopefully we
Yes.
all pray for good weather because you can't have any controls over that.
Well, in my 3 years now of doing this, we've always had
Decent weather.
fantastic weather.
Good.
Maybe a few clouds, but that's okay.
Yes.
And up on Groton Bank up there, you always have the beautiful breeze that comes off the river. So it's really just a lovely spot.
And of course,
We're
moving
very
from the
fortunate.
middle of July, when it might be hot, to earlier in June, when it's less likely to be hot,
Yes.
makes the potentially the visit even more enjoyable.
Yes.
Because you
yes.
won't have although the Art on Groton Bank, all of the vendors have little tents and stuff, so
Yes.
you're not going to be overwhelmed by either rain, hopefully
No,
never,
right.
and then sun, because there is some control over that.
Yeah, exactly. And there's a lot of shade up there. And,
Yeah, the
and
big trees.
A lot of nice shade, and as I mentioned, we're going to have music throughout the day. We're going to have a flutist who's going to be performing for us.
Wonderful.
We are going to have a jazz trio coming, the Carver brothers, who are wonderful. They're a repeat to us.
Good.
A duo that does, we've got a fellow that's going to be on saxophone, and we've got a guitar and vocal. So we've got some great live music that's pretty much going to be going from 10 a.m. all the way up to 4 p.m.
You are looking for one more musical
We
out?
have one more musical. We have one more opening for an hour, the 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. spot. We've got one more. So yes, if there's anyone out there who is a musician or knows of
somebody,
anybody,
yes.
my information will be up here on the screen, please, or
Sure.
look on our website, contact me, and we'd love to talk.
Absolutely wonderful. And of course, you're kind enough to me for under my other life, my pen name, Anastasia Goodman.
Yes.
I write mysteries, and I'm going to have a new mystery, The Terrorist, talking about whether or not Latin gangbangers and Islamic terrorists sort of
Really?
make a marriage of convenience together and smuggle terrorists into this country.
Well, I'm very happy to announce that Harriet Grayson is going to be at Art and Groton Bank. You're going to be doing book signings, and you're going to be doing some readings for us.
Under my pen name, Anastasia Goodman. Because I write about Russians, so what could be more Russian than Anastasia?
Well, you've been with us before,
Right.
and it's very popular, and we're very excited that you've decided to agree to come back and join us again this year.
Tell us a little bit about the genesis of this, because it's been around for a while, but you're constantly making adjustments here and there. So why don't you tell us a little bit about this? Because number one, people I don't think, know enough about the event. And number two, I don't think they know enough about Groton Bank itself. So tell us a little bit about how this all started and where you think it's going to go into the future.
Well, again, this is the 11th year for Art and Groton Bank. As I mentioned, this is now my fourth year running the event. And it was started those 11 years ago by a small group of people who just wanted to bring art and culture awareness to the city of Groton. And so it started as a very small outdoor art show, and slowly over the years grew and changed a little bit. And when I was asked to come in and take over directing and producing it, I thought to myself, well, what can we do different? I want to make it into a real festival, and not just have art,
Right.
but have the music, have some great food. We have interactive activities for all ages, so people can come bring their children. We have what we call a flag line, and adults or children of any age. We supply little pieces of fabric and pens, and we always ask to write a little message, and we string up strings of rope all over the place, and we just pin up these little flags. It's called the flag line, and they flutter all day long, and people just write their little messages, and it's just colorful and fun. And
Years back, when it was submarine year,
we did. Yeah,
we did some paper submarines.
Well, it was when we were celebrating Submarine Century.
Yes.
Having the submarine base for 100 years here in Groton. And so everything was sort of submarine themed and submarine shaped. We even had submarine shaped cookies that we were selling. And that year it was write a little message about what the submarine base means to you and that. So we're still trying to decide what our theme is going to be for the flag line this year. And,
okay.
It usually tied to me, what does something mean and special to you? But we got to pin that down exactly.
Yes. It's cute to have a little theme. Absolutely.
Yeah, and of course the kids love it. The adults love it.
Sure.
And we have a community tent where we have the flag line, and we give away all kinds of free little bracelets and trinkets and goodies and things like that. So,
right, which the kids like.
The kids like.
Absolutely.
But I'm trying to make it into. Not everybody agrees with the idea of calling it a festival, but I like calling it a festival because I want it to really have that lively feeling of the sounds and the sights of what a festival can bring to a community.
Right. Yes, and Groton has a lot of history, which people have sort of forgotten because they're too caught up in what's going on today in terms of just thinking, it's the EB and then the sub base. But it actually is much broader than that. And historically, it's played a very important role in American history.
Well, we have names, for instance, Benedict Arnold. When Benedict Arnold, when the Battle of Groton Heights, that Revolutionary War battle happened, the British came in and landed at the mouth of the Thames River. and were going to charge up to Fort Trumbull, right? I mean, Fort Griswold, right there. And they had the Americans had a signal that 2 cannons meant that danger was coming and the invasion of the British were coming in. 3 cannons meant that all was safe. And what Benedict Arnold did, he knew about the signal.
Right.
So when the Americans hit the signal for 2 guns to give the alert that the British were coming, Benedict Arnold gave a 3rd shot. So the Americans then thought everything was okay.
Yes.
So a lot of the militia, a lot of the fighters did not go to the fort that time to fight. So consequently, the Americans were terribly outnumbered, and it was pretty much a massacre.
Oh, isn't that a nice piece of history?
So again, we have a name like Benedict Arnold involved right here in Groton with a Revolutionary War battle.
Right.
So yeah, there's that history right there, right in Groton, right there. And as I said, the Monument Museum has some fantastic things, including the sword that one of the British officers used right there at the battlefield to kill Colonel Ledyard.
Oh, okay.
So people can see that, and some of the uniforms and all those types of things. And then, of course, the Revolutionary War homes that are going to be open. So there's that history.
Yes.
And then we have history going all the way up through the captain's homes that most of those are not open to the public, but those beautiful captain's homes are all right there. Those were built mostly during the whaling industry, which was big not just in New Bedford, but was very big in New London.
Oh, yes.
So we have a lot of those captain's homes that people can walk around and just see a lot of these beautiful homes. So yeah, it's that rich history that
absolutely, which people don't know about.
They don't realize that Groton, well, let's see, it's got the sub base, and it's got an electric boat, like you said, and okay, that's all right. Isn't that where Pfizer is? And then that's
that's about it.
That's about it.
That's about it. So it's to get people and maybe children that they should learn a little bit more about this incredible history. It's perfect. And then if you just want nothing more than a nice ferry ride on the river, this is just a wonderful opportunity to have a good time.
Yeah, we are a water community, but not everybody has the ability to be out on the water. This is your chance that day. Go to Art and Groton Bank, have some lunch, listen to some great music, look or buy some art or some jewelry, and take a little boat ride.
Yes.
The boat ride total, I think it's about 45 minutes. So you can get on the boat in New London or in Groton. You don't have to get off in New London. Just take take the loop and go for the ride and get on the river and enjoy that. But if you want to get off in New London and walk around for a little while, do so. Get back on.
Absolutely. Are the people and the museums in New London, are they hooked into this, or is it more casual than that? In other words, like for the example, the Custom House Museum is right there. Are they hooked into this this day?
They are part of the Thames River Heritage Park that I mentioned, and the Groton Bank Historical Association. But Thames River Heritage Park, the Custom House Museums and so forth, those other museums in New London are part of that.
Okay.
So through promotion of Groton Bank Day into the Thames River Heritage Park, they will all be involved. They'll all be open
and free for people
yes,
to,
exactly. Yes.
to do that. One of the best things for people to do if you have friends or family that is in the Boston or New York, I mean, the best thing to do is to hop on. Don't forget 95 on a summer afternoon.
You don't need it.
Take the Amtrak. It comes right to the door.
Shoreline East.
Yes, take the Metro North. Yes, exactly right. It's a wonderful opportunity for people to have a great June day. Get all your friends and relatives who live in the city. I mean, they could be coming from Virginia Beach on the Amtrak and stop
Boston,
in New London.
DC, New York, Southampton here. Take the
Take
ferry
the
boat,
ferry
take
from
the ferry boat over.
Yes, exactly.
And yeah, there's no excuse.
Yeah, it's just a great opportunity. I would really urge people to contact their friends and relatives and have them take a really nice train ride. I mean, it's just a fabulous adventure. And for a while there, Amtrak was, I know, very interested in promoting places like New London.
Yes.
Because it is on the train route, and it actually then that same train goes on and stops. I live in Westerly, and it stops in Westerly, goes on up to Providence, and then of course on to Boston. But that more people should take advantage of it, and Amtrak is really interested in they might even have some decent deals in terms of coming on a Saturday, because it's not commuting traffic, so it doesn't take away from their commuting business.
They usually have very good round-trip excursion fares that operate on weekends, especially during the summer, to attract just those type of people.
Exactly.
The ones that aren't going to be commuting from New York or Boston, but those people that just want to take a vacation ride.
Exactly. Yeah. And this particular day makes it even more advantageous, because you can stop at the train and then you get this opportunity to hop on a ferry and then come to a completely different town that you might not know anything about.
That's right.
But it has all this historical importance. And listen, New England was one of the key players in the American Revolution, certainly the War of 1812, and to even equal degree in terms of having men volunteer for the Union Army to go fight during the Civil War.
Yeah.
So just fabulous history. And it's just right here, and except for that train ride from New York to New London, everything else is going to be free.
You take that short train ride, you get off the train in New London, and right there you've got the beautiful train station.
It is a lovely train station.
Built in the Richardson style, not by the architect Richardson, but that style, very famous architectural style of the period. And then, of course, you have downtown New London, which is great for strolling, and restaurants there too. And so you've got that side of the river to explore. You hop that water taxi, and you've got another.
Specifically, where is the water taxi located? Is it across the tracks?
Yes. And
right to one of those wharfs that they have.
Right close to the. It's like a 2-minute walk from the train station across the pedestrian bridge. And it's very easy to get to right there, right by between the train station and where the ferry boats are, and it's very well marked.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's easy to find.
Okay.
And again, it's just a very short ride, unless you want to do the entire loop.
Right. But it's a great beginning for summer, and gets you acquainted with what's around, because I think a lot of people have, they just don't go to New London to think about cultural stuff. Yep. And they certainly don't think of Groton historically the way they could be thinking of it. Right. And so it is important that you provide this particular kind of day as an expression of, get out and see what's in the neighborhood, see what's in the community. I hope people from all over around here have an opportunity to get out there and see this stuff. I mean, the biggest event, I suppose, in London during the summer is when they have the fireworks.
The Sailfest.
Yes. So this is a way to see much more low-key, with the emphasis less on fireworks and more on just doing a little historical visiting and getting acquainted with your own history out here.
Yes. And then, of course, again, Art in Groton Bank, it's all about the art. And we have really some wonderful, talented artists, watercolors and acrylics and oils. We have pottery. We have beautiful handmade jewelry, sea glass jewelry, beads, silver jewelry, that type of thing. Great place to do Christmas shopping. We have a lot of people that say, hey, I come here just to do my Christmas shopping because I love it.
Sure.
And we have all kinds of different art. Somebody that comes and makes homemade, everything from little bird houses to this art and jewelry, and we're not talking about expensive stuff. Yes, there's some art that might be in the hundreds of dollars, but there's also that pair of earrings for $5.
Right, exactly. Exactly, exactly.
There's really something for everybody.
And of course, SEC TV has been a great proponent and supporter of local artists, because
Yes.
we have over time, several times a year, have art shows, which is another way for local artists to display their work to the public. And we always have a reception and wine and little things to eat. It's really been to promote local art, because over the years, the private galleries that used to be here in Groton have closed.
Right. Yeah.
And so there's even, I think they used to have a big gallery at the college at Avery Point. I think that also
right, yes, the Van Schlipp Gallery that was there.
Yeah, so I mean, again, we want to have an outlet we have so many talented people in terms of writers and artists and artisans, and this is just an opportunity to present to the public what it's just a wonderful thing to even live in this area, because you're so exposed to all kinds of wonderful arts and culture. And that, of course, is my bailiwick. I'm always pushing arts and culture. I mean, we can't be all barbarians. We need to have a sense of history and purpose, and it goes beyond today and eating some junk food. So it's bigger than that. Now, are you still looking for artisans?
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. As you know, the grounds are very, very spacious, and we have a lot of room that we can continue to grow. So yes, we're always open for more artists. Now is the time to sign up. We have a very, very low fee. It's only $45 for a 10 by 10 space, which, if you go to some of the other, I won't mention their names, but other art festivals, it's in the hundreds.
Right.
So yeah,
yes,
we're not out to we're out to cover our costs, and hopefully, because we are a nonprofit fundraising event, any money that we make goes back to the Bill Library, which is the historic Bill Library right there.
That's good to know.
And I'm not saying that we've been too successful making a lot of money for the library.
Right.
Even though we've been very successful as an event, but we're not really there for the money. We're there to create something great for the community.
Right.
I think so far.
I think this marriage of opening up the historic houses and having an art festival together on the same day, basically in the same neighborhood, has some real advantages in terms of being an artist and maybe getting some exposure, as well as hopefully getting people to know a little bit more about the community.
It's an opportunity really to spend an entire day if you wish.
Right.
The art, between the art, the history, just having a walk in some of these beautiful tree-lined neighborhoods with the captain's homes, it's just a lovely walk. Just take a stroll, and sort of, it's almost like visiting life 150 years ago or 200 years ago even. It's all right. It's all right there. Right,
and you're going to have that little map so people can just sort of follow it to go from place to place to place.
We try to make it as easy as we can for everyone.
And that idea of a passport is very cute.
Yeah.
Yes, you get this. I've been to other kinds of places and events where you stamp it, and then you might have a raffle or some kind of.
There's a lot more to the passport program that I have in my head right at this minute to share with everyone. But it's being developed, so it really will be a lot of fun for people.
Right.
The passport's good. Not just be good for that day, but it's going to be good for the entire season.
Oh, okay.
So you will benefit by getting one of those passports that day and using it. And I believe the place you'll be able to get those will be at the water taxi landings.
Oh, okay.
So again, we're trying to all work together to make this as easy for people as we possibly can, and as free for people as we can. Right,
a whole, take the kids out and have a kind of a fun day.
Yeah. The only thing that people will be charging for really is the food vendors, and we have Supreme Hot Dogs, who's always there, and they've got a great product. and they've expanded their product. They'll be having some different kinds of offerings and sandwiches and homemade lemonade.
Oh, okay.
Those types of things.
Okay.
We still have room for one more food vendor.
Okay.
And also we're looking for someone to do ice cream or a nice cold dessert of some sort. So we still have some work to do. So again, I'm putting the call out if there's anyone that's listening that is a food vendor or knows someone. Again, shout me out. And, I try to be very user-friendly.
Right. And is there a reason why you kind of limit the food vendors? Yes,
there is, because we want to make sure that we always have enough food to go around for all our guests. We don't want them waiting in long lines. There's none of that. But we also want our vendors to do well. And I don't want to have so many food vendors that they're not going to have a productive day.
Okay.
We want them to have a successful day. We want them to have fun, but we want them to make money. That's what they're there for.
Right.
In return, they offer things at a very, very low rate. We're not talking about expensive stuff. We're talking, a couple bucks for a hot dog.
Yes.
And they're darn good too. If you haven't had one, they're really good.
Is it pet friendly? Can you bring your dog?
Yes, you certainly can.
But not obviously into the museum houses.
Not into any of the museum houses well, actually, you can bring small ones into the library. They do allow that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've been in the library having a meeting, and I've seen people come in with their dogs. So it's very pet friendly.
Are the pets allowed on the ferry? I'm putting you on the spot.
I believe they are.
Okay. Of course, you have to have them leashed.
Yes. And I'm saying I believe they are because I know that's been discussed. I'm pretty sure they do.
Okay. All right.
I'm pretty sure.
Yes.
But
so Fido can come with the kids and parents and grandparents and the whole family could come.
Yeah.
It's absolutely a great opportunity to spend a whole day together doing lots of little stuff.
All kinds of things.
Yes.
Shopping, art, history. War battles, you name it. We got it all. Tiffany glass windows again in the beautiful Congregational church, and just.
So people are going to be wandering by themselves. In other words, there's not going to be like a shout out, and there's some historian who's going to take you on a tour. It's all going to be kind of self-motivated, that kind of thing.
We've had historical walking tours in the past, which have been very popular. We are trying to work that out again this year.
Okay, because I remember that from last time.
Yeah. We did have a local historian who was really terrific, and he gave some walking tours of the area. And we're hoping to do that, but have it limited to having two of them, maybe one locally within an easy couple of blocks right around Groton Bank, and then maybe having a separate one that goes down to where the water taxi is to talk about that Groton Bank area where some of those museum houses like the Avery Kopp House, the Mother Bailey House, the Ebenezer
Congregational?
The Congregational. The Ebenezer Avery House and the Mother Bailey House.
Okay.
There's a lot on here. That's why I brought this, because I thought I'm not going to remember it all.
Oh, right,
I'm going to have my cheat sheets of all these things that we have going on. And of course, we've got some terrific sponsors that help us make this happen.
Yes. I can tell you from doing all kinds of cultural events, it's never, even if you had ticket sales, they never pay for anything. It's always got to be the cooperation of, and it's usually the business community or foundations in the community that see the value of what you want to do and want to have their name associated with it.
Yeah, I mean, because we're a free event, we're open to the public, we're free, everything's free there, the admission, all of that kind of stuff. But it does come with a cost to produce this.
Sure.
We do have to pay for music, and we do have to pay for printed materials and for marketing and our website. So there's a lot of costs involved with this, even though it's a nonprofit. There's a lot of costs that we have to cover, and we couldn't do it without our sponsors.
Sure.
The City of Groton has been wonderful to us. They offer all kinds of support
Right.
And the Navy volunteers that we have are absolutely wonderful. Groton Utilities, Paul's Pasta, who's right down the street. You know, if you want to have a pasta dinner or pasta lunch, they'll be open and operating, and they're very good to us, the sponsors. So you know, we really want to give as much back to our community as they're giving us to make this
Sure.
day happen.
Sure. Now, you're still open to having more sponsors. So if there is a business out there who is in the Groton area or wants to let people know that they are in existence in the Groton area,
Yes.
they can certainly contact you.
Yes, please do. I can talk about what programs we have. If you'd like to sponsor a particular event, if you'd like to sponsor music, for instance, for an hour, that would be a wonderful thing to do. And we have space for our sponsorships to put up banners. Any sponsor would be in our printed program.
Right.
So again. Sure, we would love to have you sponsor us. We would love to take your money, but we're going to give
you back something.
We're going to give you back something.
Sure.
We're going to make it worth your while, depending on the level that you give us. We will go from just having you perhaps in our brochure, and if your level is higher, well then, banners, sky's the limit. We'll
Sure.
work with you to make it worth your while.
Right,
Yep.
right. Are you allowed to actually tell us who are some of the sponsors that are on that paper?
Certainly. Well, again, we have the City of Groton, which sponsors directly to Art and Groton Bank. We have Groton Utilities,
Right.
Which sponsors us, Paul's Pasta. We have a lot of individuals that
In the
support us
community?
in the community. Cheryl Auerbach, one of the local realtors, is one of our sponsors. And we have a lot of individuals that over the years have helped us out. And, as little as $15,
Yeah.
$25.
Right.
Even that little bit of amount makes a difference.
Sure, of course, of course.
Some of our sponsors, like the City of Groton, they're in a couple of thousands of dollars.
Sure.
Which, again, we couldn't go without them. And Groton Bank Day, they have their own sponsors. That'll be giving General Dynamics,
Which is Electric Boat.
Electric
right.
Boat,
Yes.
the Resident Magazine.
Okay.
They're going to be giving free space in the magazine for 3 issues.
Okay, good.
We have Charter Oak, the bank. We have the Groton Senior Center, the Guard Art Center. All of these sponsors are going to be helping make Groton Bank Day
Right,
happen.
right.
Which, of course, Art and Groton Bank is just a part of Groton Bank Day. And this is the first year for Art and Groton Bank Day, which is this big event, which is just incorporating all
Sure,
of these things, the
absolutely.
open houses, all the museum houses.
Right,
And things like that. So
right.
Art and Groton Bank is just a part of Groton Bank Day. This is the first year for Art and Groton Bank Day, and it's definitely not going to be the last.
Oh,
because
no, it's a wonderful idea, absolutely.
it really is.
And collaboration is the name of the game. I mean, everybody's fighting for the same audience, the same dollars. So if you can coordinate and cooperate,
We really,
Working with others.
It's a really good group of people. The people with the museum houses and the forts and the library and all these people that are on this list. We're all working together because if one is successful, it's going to go over to the next one, and we all want this whole day to be good for everybody. Yeah, very, very much so.
do you get any sense as to any kind of feedback already from people about their excitement? The school's out, so kids aren't. It isn't something that the kids can be involved with in terms of school.
Well, not necessarily,
Okay.
because we are trying to work with the schools. We've got our marketing person talking to several area schools and to see if we can put together a student art exhibit.
Ah, okay.
So that is in the process of being developed right now. So I can't say for sure that that's going to happen, but yes, that might be another factor that we'll have.
You've done that before in terms of having a student art.
Yes, we have.
Yes. So you've had some experience with this.
Yes, we have, and we've had juried shows
with this high school and college.
High school, college, and middle school.
Oh, okay.
And yes, in the past we have had juried art shows for those 3 different groups. We're talking to another group this year to see if we can make that happen again for us.
Because that's a wonderful opportunity for students to have their work appraised really by someone who's in the know, and then also just to have an opportunity to show it beyond mommy and daddy and the grandparents.
Absolutely.
Yes. Encourage,
encourage the
art.
Students. Yeah, I mean, I remember going through school. I was an art student, and it's a great motivator to be able to put a piece of work in a show like that, and it can be very, very exciting for somebody of that age to be a part of.
Sure, to have an audience. And then, if I recall, last time the art was then actually shown was it shown in the library in the.
It was shown. We had it. It was a moving show. It was in the library for a little bit, and then it was at the City of Groton Municipal Building.
Oh, okay.
In the lobby and throughout the auditorium there, they were on display for a period of time. I'm not sure about
this
details
year.
this year about that yet.
Right. So you've had experience doing that, so that probably it'll happen again in some fashion.
I think so. Yeah. We're still a little ways out yet. So our committee people are working very hard right now to kind of finalize all these things and to get everything cemented, but so far it's coming together pretty well, and I'm very excited about it.
Yes.
I've been very proud of the work that the committee's done, at least the 3 years I've been involved now.
Sure.
It's a very good group of people. They're very dedicated to making this day happen for everybody, and really to give to the communities, and it's just a good feeling.
Yeah, people don't realize how much work is involved, because I, as a volunteer for some other activities, understand that it's a huge commitment. I don't know that, and in many ways, you don't expect to be tapped on the back and appreciated, but it is an enormous amount of work for people who are, in one way or another, committed to some mission or cause that's part of it.
Yes, there's a lot of work involved. We meet on a regular basis, and in between there's all the promotion to do. There's all the work in trying to write a grant or get a sponsor, putting together, getting the music, getting the food organized, getting the tents that we need, everything down to trash cans and trash pickup, and
somebody calling the police department to let people know that there'll be all this traffic up there,
and getting people to direct the traffic so it's safe for everybody. There's all kinds of things that are involved in this, and then of course the day of the event. It's a very, very early day for me. I'm usually at the site by about sunrise.
Okay.
And I'm usually there
until sunset.
Everybody's gone, and I'm the last one to look around and make sure that I haven't left a paper cup on the ground, and then I go home, and the only thing I want to do is dream of a shower and then a glass of wine.
Yes, and just relax.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, let's recap. So June 9th.
Saturday,
June 9th.
10 a.m., 4 p.m.
Right.
The grounds of the Bill Memorial Library, 240 Monument Street, Groton.
Which is right down the street from the monument.
From that big obelisk that right there.
Yes, if you're driving, just follow
that. Look for that up on that hill, and you'll find us.
Yes.
Right there. Park on the street, park in the big parking lot. We'll have people guiding you where to park.
Right.
We're going to have Navy volunteers helping people. It's all going to be right there. Bring the kids, bring the family, have people come in from New York, Boston, wherever.
Yes.
Take that water taxi. I mean,
yes, it's just a lot to do.
Yeah, we're going to surprise a lot of people that our area, Groton Bank, the city of Groton, has an awful lot to show you.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. And so give out your contact information so people can contact you.
Yeah.
How do you want to be contacted?
Yeah, they can give me a call right there on the screen. You can see www.art.grotonbank.org. That is an email that I'll get directly. I look at it all the time.
Good, good.
That's our website, excuse me. Through that, they can email me right there on our website. My phone number is on there as well. If you have any questions, if you want to be a vendor, you have any issues at all, just don't hesitate
to give you a call.
You can actually reach me. I actually will answer the phone.
Right, that's great.
I'm not just some name that does. Yeah, I'm actually there. So.
And we're still looking for a food vendor, particularly someone who has desserts to share.
Yeah, we'd love to have an ice cream, something like that. Festival time, it's a very busy time. It's not easy to, people book up way in advance.
Yes.
So yeah, we're looking for some music.
One more musician, or some kind of musical act.
Yep.
Absolutely. And we're always looking for more sponsors.
Always looking for more sponsors.
Always looking for more sponsors.
And like I said, we've got lots of room to grow. So if you're an artist, a jeweler, any kind of medium, as long as it's family friendly, contact me. And for $45, you're there for the entire day for a 10 by 10 spot. And that's a pretty darn good deal.
Right, exactly. So this I hope is going to be a great time. And, people should come on out. And I always keep on promoting this. If you have family that lives outside of town, anywhere near a train station, I'm telling you, it's the nicest thing to do in the world is to take a trip. And the weather should be divine, and you're right on top of the water.
Right on top of the water.
It's just a lovely vacation.
Get those breezes.
Absolutely, because stay for the weekend.
Yeah, if you want to drive, 95 is just right there.
Exactly.
If you want to come from on 95 from other direction, it's.
Do you remember what exit is on 95?
No.
Okay, that's fine.
Quite frankly, I'm
just
thinking.
Just go to your GPS and put it in there, and you'll find the Bill Memorial Library.
I should know because there's so many different exits, and I don't probably take the ones I would take might not be the easiest one for somebody else, but we do. If you go on our website. We do have
actual directions.
Actual directions.
Oh, good.
Coming from the Boston area or coming
from New York.
From New York. We give very specific and very easy directions.
Okay.
It's really
easy. I mean, it's easy enough to get, but I'm urging people to get on that Amtrak train and take a beautiful ride. And actually, either coming from Boston or coming from New York, it's the coast of Connecticut is just absolutely lovely to look at. Yeah.
Train ride, boat ride, we got it all there for you.
Yeah, exactly. It's completely covered, and you get a chance to see New London as well as Groton.
And you can also, if you want to, you can grab a sandwich and you can have the sandwich on the water taxi. You can they allow food on the water taxi. So if you want to make a picnic, going around,
yes. Why not?
Why not? You can do that as well. So
we're
trying to put this together. There's just about a little bit of something for everyone.
Yes, wonderful. So June 9th, everybody put it on their calendar. June 9th, Bill Memorial Library, the ground's there. 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. You'll have a wonderful time.
You won't be disappointed.
You won't be disappointed.
I promise you.
Absolutely. And you'll be able to hear me read my stuff.
And that's going to be a highlight of the day that I always look forward to. That's when I take my break, so I can sit and listen to you.
And I want to tell everybody else about some of the other activities that are going on in the area, because this is a hotbed for arts, whether it be visual arts, performing arts, and literary arts. So I'm engaged in promoting local authors. We have these local artisans. We have these local painters and sculptors. I'm very interested in promoting our literary scene. So I have created what we call Literary Salon. And literally, it's basically a place for local authors to come and read. And I've been very pleased that I have 2 venues that have been really outstanding in giving us an opportunity to have authors read. So the first one I call Literary Salon, Wine and Words. And we hold it in downtown Westerly. Everything's in downtown Westerly. And we hold it at the Tapped Apple Cidery and Winery. And this is a new business, and so we're helping each other. You promote the new business, and you promote and hopefully support local talent. So I have the Tapped Apple is one of my sponsors. They come, it's the third Wednesday of the month. Every Wednesday, third Wednesday of the month, come on down to Tapped Apple, downtown Westerly, and you can hear local authors. If you are a local author, fiction, nonfiction, memoirs, even if you're a columnist, I'd love to hear from you. You can contact me, GraysonHarriet@gmail.com. Let me hear about these people, and I'm sure we can find a place to book it. The other one we're doing, Literary Salon, is Books and Brews. And where are we holding it? The Malted Barley, which is famous for its craft beer and great pretzels. Again, that is the fourth Tuesday of the month. So every month we're going to do this. Again, I'm looking for local talent. I'm looking for authors who are willing to read. Again, you don't have to have a finished product. It could just be a piece that you're creating, maybe even a performance piece. Poets. I'm looking for everybody to have an opportunity to show their work. Literary Salon, two times a month, every month. I'm really looking forward for people to come on down and support local business. This is Westerly businesses that are allowing us to be our venues and to host these events. So I'm really very, very excited about it. So people contact me and also come on down. The other thing that we're having in Westerly has become this hotbed of cultural activity. The International Film Festival starts March the 6th, Sunday at the Guard is the opening. It will conclude on June the 6th at the Guard. And in between we'll be showing 8 movies all over the area, both at the Guard in New London, at the Mystic Luxury Cinemas in Mystic, which is in the old Mystic Village, at Whalen, which is part of Connecticut College, and also at the, I think it's the PJ Learned Mission, and this year for the first time at the United Theater in downtown Westerly. So United Theater has been undergoing this huge renovation for the last several years, and they will host on May 12th, it'll be the first time for them, at 7 o'clock, the movie Amen, about the German chemist who developed the gas that was used in the concentration camps. And when he found out what it was being used for, he was horrified and was looking for support around Europe to let people know about this terrible thing that was going on. And the result is that he did find a well-politically connected priest who actually takes the issue to the Vatican. Not much happens, at least formally there, but our priest is just so horrified, he puts on the Star of David, and he goes into the cattle cars to the concentration camp. It's a story about moral courage, and I think that you'll enjoy it immensely. So again, the film festival is May the 6th through June the 6th. Venues all over, and if you want some information, you go to www.jfec.com. And for all those people in Westerly, I want you to get out to the United Theater on May 12th at 7 p.m. and see Amen. And finally, if I don't have enough balls in the sky, I'm out there promoting what we call Bloomsday, and that is June 16th. And that is a celebration across the English-speaking world for the publication of James Joyce's monumental novel, Ulysses, the birth of the modern novel. And across the world, they actually read passages, in some cases the entire Ulysses, which is a big fat book. We're going to be working with Savoy Bookstore, and we're going to have some 5 authors, local authors, read from Ulysses, and then many of them might have books to sell, and they'll have an opportunity to sell their books. So it's an action-packed summer, and I hope you'll join us all. And again, I want to thank my guest, Mark Whalen.
Thank you so much.
Great success
Harriet.
June
Thank
9th.
you.
We are really pushing and promoting it, and we hope great things happen.
Thank you so much for having me on your show today, Harriet. I appreciate it.
Thank you. And again, this is Harriet Grayson, your host and producer of Community Culture Showcase. Thank you, and enjoy May and June.